10 seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Douyu Cup. We're in Game 2 between Newbee.Young and Braveheart, as Newbee.Young did take Game 1 pretty darn easily. Bravehearts did not do anything in that game. Hopefully this one's going to be a little better, guys. Big shout out to esportsgaming.com, giving us a little bit of support for the rest of this tournament, maybe a couple tournaments in the future. Sorry perhaps if that video is a little bit too loud. I'll be sure to tweak that in the future as well. But yeah, big thanks to them. Check them out, bet some money, and it's actually like the way it works is that you bet up against each other. It's not like up against the house. So if you're smarter than everyone else, then you get more, which is always pretty nice because people are stupid and they bet on weird things. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by GrandisV for this second game. I hope that Bravehearts do something, man. Like, that game was so weird.
Yeah, in a metagame that's filled with Leshrac, Spiritbreaker, Undying, some of the most aggressive heroes in all of Dota, it's so weird to see such a passive farm fest, and I think that favors Newbee.Young as a team, not even down to draft, but Newbee.Young are just more efficient in their usage of the map than Team Braveheart, and I think that Braveheart know it. So, well, we're going to see Tusk first pick for Newbee.Young and Gyrocopter first pick for Team Braveheart. I really want to see Team Braveheart go aggressive this game and maybe pick up some sort of cheesy, fun, aggressive dual lane for their offlane. I think that's probably the best way that they can win this game.
Conversely, if they really are intent on doing nothing and sitting back and farming, these are heroes that you would much rather like to have. Gyrocopter, is getting an okay amount of farm in the last game, but Shadow Fiend, unlike the Wind Ranger, can be, an absolute monster in the mid-late game. Wind Ranger does decently, but she's definitely no Shadow Fiend. The pick-off potential is definitely there, but still, Braveheart's picking up rather slow heroes, so we'll see if Newbee.Young are actually able to step up the aggression and punish this one. With a Tusk first pick, it definitely seems like that is a possibility. Winter Wyvern, her Embrace, is going to be doing some serious overtime up against these pretty heavy right-clickers, even though they do have mixed magic to get in there as well.
Yeah, and that mixed magic damage helps them a lot, scaling in fights in the early game. So I think the option is still there for Team Braveheart to go aggressive. It really just depends on their offlane and support picks. It's going to be a Naga Siren ban coming out from Newbee.Young, and Undying is still available in the pool, so I think Newbee.Young at least are considering picking up the Undying here.
Yeah, you might as well consider it. Like, Naga Siren's song, really good up against that Tombstone. Braveheart's going to grab the Rubik first, just get the combo with that Gyrocopter. It's a pretty safe one from them. They've banned out the Darkseer, they've banned out the Juggernaut. Good combos to have with the Tusk for sure, but Newbee.Young, they're going to go with the Storm Spirit, get some initiation on board. Clockwork's still in the pool, and I think should be picked up here from Braveheart, even though last one was kind of eh.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Clockwork pickup here for Team Braveheart. On the Radiant side, it's a little bit harder to get your laning stage through. I mean, his general Clockwork mechanics were good, but there just weren't that many initiations instead. Team Braveheart going to go for the Broodmother, so it looks like we are in for just a map control game coming out from Team Braveheart. Their initiation is very lackluster, but if they can get farm on Gyro, Shadow Fiend, Broodmother, there are very few things that are scarier in Dota. That said, it's not without its weaknesses, and I think Newbee.Young have more than enough time in their draft to punish this pretty heavily. Storm Spirit can catch out Broodmother very easily as she tries to split push across the map, and if they fall behind, things could get very scary for Team Braveheart.
Storm Spirit and Tusk, like, even to a lesser extent, they're great at getting onto these really soft heroes, and Braveheart are soft across the board. You jump in, and, well, with an axe now, that's also pretty good versus Broodmother, I hear. You jump in onto any of these heroes with Dust at the ready, you could just kill them off so quickly. Braveheart's, like, it seems like they want to go for this really slow, steady, we're just going to push you all across the map, restrict your space, and win the game that way. It's so very difficult to have that happen if, first of all, your Broodmother gets matched up against Axe, the worst matchup for Broodmother, pretty much no questions asked, and is up against quite a lot of AoE existing already, like Splinter Blast, Storm Spirit's random AoE, Tusk's random AoE. It's enough to clear out the Broodmother, Spiderlings, not make her a problem, and Braveheart's other heroes, whoa, okay, I didn't see that one coming, but the other heroes from Braveheart, whenever you're running your Broodmother draft, you have to have those heroes be ready to fight and are willing to fight all the time. And Shadow Fiend, Gyrocopter, they kind of do need a little bit of farm in between that fighting, so I don't know if they could hold down the fort, allowing Broodmother to get her space.
10 seconds.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult. Newbee.Young's heroes seem almost tailor-made to deal with Team Braveheart's general game plan. If they sit back and don't fight once they get like the Blink Dagger up for the Axe and sufficient levels up for the Storm, things look pretty good for Braveheart, but I don't see them giving them that amount of space. One of the weaknesses of Newbee.Young's draft, however, is their supports aren't the greatest at setting up kills together. Winter Wyvern is pretty mediocre, although Tusk can combine nicely. Going for a gank inside the mid lane, it also can be very easily punished when you're in melee range up against the Shadow Fiend. You'll probably eat at least one raise, and if you catch two, that could be a fairly easy turnaround. So, although the supporting duo is a little bit awkward, Stormster and Axe are very capable laners if they can find the Axe versus Broodmother matchup.
Braveheart's secondary support hero needs to be someone who is active early on, and as active as can be. Like, I think even going to a point where you're considering someone like an Ogre Magi just to have someone on those front lines, someone to distract Newbee.Young, and hey, if point click stun in the Fire Blast, not too terrible either. If they grab the lighter support hero, someone along the lines of a disruptor, then they will. I mean, obviously it's banned out, but then they will just not have enough fighting presence for early on. They need to get someone who is willing to get his hands dirty, and they have a lot of time to make that decision. And it's going to be a Skywrath Mage. They have a nice combo up there with the Rubik. He is offensively a great hero to have, especially up against that Storm Spirit, who, I mean, they were lacking CC to start things off, but defensively, the Skywrath Mage is paper, and Newbee.Young are working with a lot of scissors.
If they fall behind, Newbee.Young might just cut straight through Team Braveheart. Lifestealer is going to be the last pickup for Newbee.Young, and I really like it. He has a lot of great vessels this game. Tusk, Stormspirit, and Axe all are very good at holding the Lifestealer bomb. He's a hero that Piao plays very well. I remember distinctly at least 2 Lifestealer games where I was very impressed by Newbee.Young, and I think in general Newbee.Young's draft is just a little bit better. They might struggle clearing out the spiders if it is just the Lifestealer in lane against the Broodmother, but as long as Newbee.Young shuffle these lanes around to where they can get the edge, things look very good for them.
They may even consider grabbing an early smoke, not to necessarily look for a fight, even though a fight will probably go very well for them, just to get a read on where this Broodmother is. As you said, if they have Lifestealer up against Broodmother, that's the worst possible scenario there for Newbee.Young. Lifestealer doesn't have a great time. They want this Axe versus Broodmother matchup. If they get that, then that lane is not going to be lost by the Axe, or at least it shouldn't be lost by the Axe. So Bravehearts definitely have to be on the lookout for that. The other 4 heroes now, the Broodmother kind of 4-1 type-ish strategy, is not with a really super tanky hero at this stage. They're all glass cannons, and up against the Tusk and Storm Spirit, I don't know if these guys can hold the line and actually let Broodmother be Broodmother, but we'll see. They are a game down, and if they lose this game, Bravehearts, then they're out of the Douyu Cup. Guys, it's going to be Chaoyue playing the Gyrocopter. Sure, is on the Rubik. Skywrath Mage and Shadow Fiend, well, they're here as well, and Chan Chan's going to be playing the Broodmother.
And for the Dire side, it's going to be Newbee.Young with Iwi playing on the Axe, and it looks like they are going to get the matchup they needed, even though there is potential for Broodmother to switch her lanes now, and well, it looks like that's not going to happen. Down bottom lane, the Storm Spirit's going to be played by SCCC, Piao's going to be on the Lifestealer, MRRR, on the Winter Wyvern, and last but not least, Tusk by Melody Lovers, playing very aggressively and will get a lot of words down to block out this camp. They commit an Observer Ward inside the trees. That's going to block out the pull, and a Sentry. This is very difficult for Braveheart to de-ward successfully.
Yeah, and it's going to be next to impossible if... Yeah, they only have 1 Sentry here for sure, so de-warding this, I think, is actually impossible. Maybe there's a sweet spot there. You could de-ward with both, but then you block your own camp, so then you're kind of screwed. So, yeah, it's going to be rough times for this bottom lane as far as pulls are concerned. Guys, we do have a giveaway. It's going to be happening after this match, potentially just after this game if Newbee.Young take it. So, yeah, going to be giving away some immortals. 1 viewer, 1 sub, going to be getting that. So, subs, yeah, do have a higher chance of winning. So, stick around for that, of course. Big thanks to esportgaming.com again. But we will now see what aggressive plays Newbee.Young are thinking of going for, because Winter Wyvern with boots first. Partnering up with a Tusk is not something you see every day. However, into a soft hero like Shadow Fiend, they're going to jump to the snowball that will connect onto the Shadow Fiend. Where's the curse? Where's the slow? There it is. The burn is ticking, and now Shadow Fiend looks like he's going to tick to death. That Storm Spirit to grab the kill from very lucky right click in the midst of all that. But Shadow Fiend not starting off the game as he really wants to. Even with Skywrath Mage there to help out, he didn't really do that much.
Yeah, he got a poor block against the Storm Spirit already. That's going to mean that Storm Spirit has a good edge for the very early creep waves. But since he was forced to post up so aggressively to try to CS there, Shadow Fiend is going to be punished dearly. And without having raised, there wasn't really potential to turn around onto the Storm. Now Storm Spirit has a bottle, whereas Shadow Fiend has no gold towards his name, towards that bottle, just a couple of CS. He sends out a salve, and that's going to help him or help tide himself over till he gets that crucial item. But in general, Stormspirt's going to have a much better lane than he usually would have against the Shadow Fiend.
Up towards top, Axe versus Broodmother. Even if Broodmother does get a little bit of help from the Skywrath Mage, Axe should have the edge here, especially since he has so much freaking regen. The trade-off is bottom lane, Chaoyue with the Rubik, such a deadly dual lane, and Piao has actually not gone for any rage, so he's ready to go offensive with the open wounds, but the Rocket Barrage will hurt. Not as much as it once did. It's only level 1 skill right now, but Newbee.Young now going with a full-on 3-hero off lane. Could very easily get on top of a Rubik with the Snowball, with the Arctic Burn, as well as that open wounds. But Piao is not going to have a great time in this lane. Sure and Gyrocopter is a deadly duo.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary for them. The Gyrocopter is only supported by the Rubik, and both of these heroes will fall very quickly. The good news is that since they have low HP pools and pretty high armor, at least on the Gyrocopter, since he does have a ring of protection towards an Aquila, there's going to be a jump. They find the Axe, and no, he's going to turn with a couple of spins. If he gets lucky here, the Broodmother might die. The tick damage is not going to kill off the Brood. She's tangling up, and with web regen, she is going to survive here. That's a really important kill for Braveheart, though. Killing off the Axe is going to help out Broodmother's lane a lot.
Meantime, bottom lane, open wounds into Chaoyue. Arctic Burn is going to start ticking on him as well. He just can't escape this many heroes. He'll get beaten down by the Tusk, and he'll draw a retaliation kill down towards the bottom lane. Haste Rune on the Skywrath Mage made things very easy for him to stay out of Axe's reach. If he didn't have that, then he might have had a chance to get a 2-man call. Then things would have been very, very different for him, but he is going to go down on this top lane. Skywrath Mage now getting a little bit of blood on his hands. 1-0 for him, and now looking for SC. The plan from the beginning for the Skywrath Mage was to dump the mana pool into the Storm Spirit, get the Shadow Fiend a little bit of an edge there. It obviously didn't pan out, but we have another aggression attempt down towards bottom. Another 2-man Snowball, open wounds is there. Lift up onto Piao this time will slow him down, but it won't stop him. Chaoyue is in a lot of trouble, and he will go down for a second time in as many minutes. With Arctic Burn not even being available, just getting Lifestealer Initiation is working out so well, and he still doesn't even have Rage yet. His offensive power is going to do nothing but increase.
Yeah, this is very, very scary for Braveheart. Even though the Gyrocopter is farming at the same rate as the Lifestealer, in fact, the top last hitters in this game are all very close to even. Dying twice completely tips the scales into Newbee.Young's favor, and the Lifestealer is going to start getting a quite substantial edge. Even after killing off the Axe, I was still able to play so aggressively up against this Broodmother. He's at a slight experience deficit against the Brood, but not that significant at all. And after one creep, that's completely rectified. The Axe is back to dominating here, but with a rotation in from the Gyrocopter, not necessarily something you expect. The Axe might get caught out here, but they're spotted by a Dire Observer Ward, so this rotation should not get them anything. Axe is going to back off towards the left-hand side, has a TP, but they're not going to be able to find him.
Ooh, he'll smell it coming, although he might have just seen them coming with the Observer Ward, so
yeah, he did.
Get a little bit of help there, so he'll TP out to safety. He's actually gone for a very, very weird build on Axe. This is a fine build if you're up against another non-Broodmother melee hero in lane. You could chase him out with the Battle Hunger. But Broodmother has spawned Spiderlings. That gets her instant CS almost guaranteed. Over towards mid, Shadow Fiend can get jump, burn, plus the Snowball, pull back from SC. They'll kill off the SF. They see the Skywrath Mage, they can't quite get on top of him, but Shadow Fiend can take yet another fall. Even with Axe having this really weird build, he's strong enough to handle this Broodmother lane, assuming it is 1 versus 1. And Gyrocopter moving up towards the top lane got absolutely nothing done. Now he's walking maybe even all the way down towards the bottom lane. This is a ton of time where Gyrocopter is actually doing nothing.
Yeah, and now he's 2 levels behind the Lifestealer and is so far behind after that rotation. If you rotate your safe laner like that and don't get at least one high priority kill, it's a loss for you. Even if they kill a support there, it's not worth it. You need probably 2 kills to make up for the time that was lost. And now going down this bottom lane is very scary for the Gyrocopter. He's very squishy. There's not much that he can do to survive this snowball combination. We might see it very shortly. He's currently not in vision, but now they spot him under the tower, and there is potential for them to go for the dive. Sure is there with the lift, and that's going to delay things for now, but they'll group off. If they spot eyes under the Gyrocopter again, I'm tempted to say they're just going to go for it.
Bravehearts do know that the 2 supports here of Newbee.Young are in the area. They have an Observer Ward, and it is doing quite a bit of work for them. So, Mur and Amelie lovers getting this gank off successfully going to be potentially a little bit difficult. But they'll back off, not really much time wasted there. It's only a couple supports, it's not exactly a Gyrocopter who's missing and needs to farm. Now Chaoyue is resorting to jungling Granted, going into this lane is just a death sentence, so it's nice that he's getting something, but at level 4, Gyrocopter should not be in this position, especially with no stacks. He's going to farm so glacially slowly, and this is maybe even going to leave Rubik out to dry. If he's spotted, if he's going to get hit with a snowball, he's just dead.
Well, what Rubik is getting is getting a little bit of experience here, but yeah, it's a dangerous game to be sure right now. Up in top lane, the Axe will continue farming against the Brood, but Broodmother's found herself a little bit of an edge when it comes to farm, and yeah, that's pretty impressive. Axe, even though CS-wise looks very even to the Broodmother, a lot of those are spiders and just jungle creeps that Broodmother has mostly been getting her farm from lane and the large camp over to the side.
I feel like this is kind of a side effect of Axe getting 2 wasted skill points in the Battle Hunger. Like, it actually does nothing versus a Broodmother. Even stats like would be better for the Axe, honestly, but he should be at, well, 2, 0, and 4 at this point. Something along those lines with counter helix up. So, yeah, like, he's gone for a really awkward build, and it is hurting him in lane. Chan is having a great time. The rest of his team, however, not so much. Chayo is still level 4. The Shadow Fiend has died twice. He is still level 7, in fact, ahead of Storm Spirit in the experience department and the gold department as well, or at least the last hitting department slightly. But Shadow Fiend still really has to be worried about any sort of rotation. It's not really been working out for him, but they've been camping out this bottom lane for a super long time, these supports from Newbee. Like, pushing 2 minutes at this point. They've been doing nothing but sitting here.
Yeah. As a whole, the supports are still doing well. The Tuscan Wyvern's been involved in 4 kills in total, and neither of them have died. But it is sad that... Oh.
Sigil gonna fly right over, but won't see. He's gonna cancel his TP out.
Oh, and then walk over the Sigil.
Bad times. Piao has phase boots. Here it comes. He's not gonna rage in time. Gets shoved back. Shards, though, gonna connect completely. And now Sure is gonna get burned and beaten down. Poor Rubik. Looked like he was maybe gonna slip out of there, but no, not gonna happen.
It's really greedy to not complete that TP. He just wanted a little bit more experience, but not going to find it. Storm's is going to rotate into the jungle, and in the Storm's absence, Tusk is going to pick up a little bit of farm in mid, but up in top lane, Broodmother has found her Hand of Midas and is sitting on a lot of levels. Level 8 compared to a level 8 Axe. This is not an easy kill by any means, but it looks like they want to go for it just the same. They're going to open up with the silence. They have a spawn Spiderling. He's going to get that amped, and it'll be enough damage onto the Axe. He died a little bit faster than I thought he would, but that's just the power of Ancient Seal.
I think at this point, you could definitely say that Chan has won his lane. Axe is not supposed to lose a lane versus a Broodmother. I don't think I've ever actually seen that, but it's happening this time. So it is Broodmother to claim that win there. Shadowfeed's still doing pretty well over in mid. Bottom lane is a problem that Bravehearts eventually have to deal with, especially with Mer posting up with Rubik right around the corner. Arctic Burn is actually being prioritized by this Winter Wyvern. I don't think I've ever seen that either. It does do quite a bit of slow, but the amount of damage doesn't change, which is usually why heroes or players usually just keep it at 1 point, but the cooldown is drastically reduced. So if Newbee.Young keep on making their rotations, they'll be getting away with it, but it seems like this Winter Wyvern's getting kind of an awkward position.
Oh, long zip in.
Chaoyue, big ball landing in from SC, and Chaoyue is once again in the wrong place at the wrong time. Very easy kill for Newbee.
And they'll get a D-ward right after the fact. Although it's not very common, I've seen it every once in a while in these Tier 2 Chinese games where the Winter Wyverns go for very heavy Arctic Burn builds. It's really nice for the reduced cooldown, as you said, and you can get in position for better ultimates, but it's kind of sad to see Splinter Blast ignored, just because the value points in Cold Embrace and Arctic Burn are so strong.
Oh, they're still locking down this bottom lane, getting a lot of farm for the life, so they're up towards top. Ui's now being forced out completely, even out of his own jungle, with Shadow Fiend of all heroes arriving. Tower is going to be falling on this top lane as Chen with a pretty decent Spiderling army is going to continue onwards there. Newbee, they're conceding a lot in this top lane. Tusk and Winter Wyvern have yet to make a single rotation up there. They need to, I think at a certain point, or they should have at a certain point, just purchase some dust and gone aggressive, get some action for the Axe, because he's not having a great time. He needs a little bit of help from his supports. Lifestealer has had a good enough time that you could leave him alone.
Yeah, even an offlane Axe at this point usually is getting close to his Blink Dagger since he's been able to fall back on jungle stacks. But this Broodmother's been playing the matchup pretty well. Hasn't fed too many Spiderlings the way of Iwi. But the sad news for Braveheart is their Gyrocopter is still suffering. 0-3 and 0. He's not finding very much farm at all. In fact, he's hardly ahead of where the supports are. Comparing his net worth to that of the Winter Wyvern, it's only 200 gold lead for the Gyro. He needs so much time in this game to catch back up, and a lot of stacking too.
And the stacks are being blocked out right now by the Newbee side, so where can you actually do it? The Ancients aren't being stacked up at all. And that should be something that Braveheart are going to be getting onto eventually, but for right now, they're not. Over towards mid. Oh, Storm Spirit with a haste rune. At that is going to find and assassinate the Skywrath Mage. Easy peasy there. And the Storm Spirit's actually going to go for a Eul Scepter build. That's very rare to see, especially after a Soul Ring. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a Bloodstone in any given game. Eul Scepter in this particular game, it protects himself against the Skywrath Mage. In that regard, probably worth it. But down towards bottom, Swift Blast over towards the Gyrocopter. Rage out from Piao. No lift available. Rage, Open Wounds rather, is going to be stolen by Sure. That's not going to do anything right now as Piao grabs the kill on the Gyrocopter. 4th death of the game. And now he has his armlet. Super easy kill over in the bottom lane. Now they're looking for mid, perhaps. Ball lightning in. We go straight for the Shadow Fiend. He has a Eul Scepter, which may save him a little bit of time, but there's a call waiting for him when he drops down. Call's gonna get silenced out. Mystic Flare is there, but the Shadow Fiend should die regardless. Popping his Death Requiem, not gonna do enough damage to get any kills there. Shadow Fiend is going to drop yet again.
Yeah, back to the Storm Spirit's Eul Scepter. I rather quite like it. I think going for the Soul Ring and the bottle first, all of the small items really help Storm Spirit be effective even without any further item progression. The Euls takes away his biggest threat, which is that Ancient Seal coming up from the Skywrath Mage. Outside of it, they only have the Rubik Lift, and even if eventually Broodmother gets this Orchid, and it looks like that is going to be Chen Chen's build, it's going to keep the Storm Spirit safe 9 times out of 10 inside these fights. Mid lane looks like they're going to look for a dive onto whoever's standing here, and it is the Winter Wyvern to use that Arctic Burn, catch eyes onto the Skywrath Mage, slowed down by the Arctic Burn. No hope for him, even with the silence onto the Storm Spirit. They'll very easily take this tier 1 tower, creeps or not. Yeah, the glyph will delay a little bit, but Piao's sitting on this armlet, and with it they'll be able to snag that tower, and a lot of extra gold for the team. Meanwhile, the Tusk is dropped low by the Broodmother, but is able to survive.
Yeah, he gets bailed out by the Axe there. Snowball saving him for a little while, and Axe grabs a Blink Dagger right in the nick of time. Oh, random Centaur Infest with the Storm Spirit jumping in as well. They're not going to get the stun, which is a little bit of a shame, but they will cut the Shadow from regardless. Also catch Sure with a little bit of the Curse, which will slow him down enough for the Open Wounds to be casted. Vortex is there, but it's only level 2 skill, and here comes Storm Spirit. He's back, and he's going to get the kill for the team. Piao and SC going to take a little bit of damage on the way out, but nothing substantial. They're collecting huge in this bottom lane. Broodmother's doing work on top, dealing with both Axe and Tusk at the exact same time, but the rest of the heroes, they're losing so much in trade, and Broodmother cannot carry a game by herself. That is just not going to happen.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate reality for Braveheart at the moment, because Broodmother's... Oh, again, the poor Gyrocopter is going to get cut out. There's nothing he can do as soon as the Lifestealer gets on top of him at this point. The Gyro is so far behind where he wants to be in item progression. Compared to the Lifestealer, he's more than 4,000 behind in effective items, and actually in net worth too. This Gyro is just not getting anything.
Well, they're going to still have a Broodmother who's semi-successful. It looks like Newbee.Young finally going to try to put a stop to that one with the Blink Dagger prepped on the Axe. If they see Chen, they can very easily get the kill. Smoke blows, though, still being held on Uwe. Maybe that makes the difference here, as Chen may feel like going for this Tusk, especially with Skywrath Mage right behind him, but Shards do take out quite a number of Spiderlings. And it seems like the vision here just isn't quite good enough for Newbee, so they will be forced to back out. But while they were messing around there, bottom lane and mid lane were being pretty much hero farmed by the Newbee side, and we have a, wow, Hand of Midas being picked up. Oh, they do jump in at the end. I thought they were going to back off. It looked like they were going to, but they do pick off the Broodmother, and now it's Skywrath Mage on the run. Yeah, there's no Shards, no Blink Dagger. He should escape just fine, but man, Winter Wyvern with the Hand of Midas, that is absolutely terrifying. He never gets the gold for it, but if you can get extra levels and gold as Winter Wyvern, you are such a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, and this is after Arcanes too. The Wyvern is handily out farming the Gyrocopter, and oh, they get the Open Wounds on the Shadow Fiend. He yulls himself up in the air, but now Winter's Curse. They'll be able to bring down this SF very quickly. It's going from bad to worse, 15-2. One of the issues with having the Broodmother being the only major threat on the side of Braveheart is that she's so easily killed, even though the Axe did poorly in lane. A Blink Call, if you catch the Broodmother out with her spiders, is mostly a death sentence, and Newbee.Young are getting so much farm on heroes that it matters for. The Shadow Fiend is still relevant with his item pickups, or as far as his net worth is concerned, but he hasn't been able to translate that into any good fights. He's 0-5-0, almost matching the Gyrocopter score. Actually, they do have matching KDAs.
That's not a good thing, unfortunately. No. If you have one of these heroes with a 0-5-0 score in any given game, then you're already in a very, very bad spot. If you have two of them, well, it gets that much worse. So these two heroes, I mean, they do have flash farming potential, go into the jungle, clear a stack or two. Gyrocopter did a little bit to his Ancients there, which is nice and everything, but it's just not enough. He needs so many more stacks. He needs kills. Everyone on Bravehearts needs kills, and their best tool at actually getting kills is Mystic Flare. But right now, Blink forward, gonna catch Chan to call. Dust is there. Will this act at a solo kill? He won't because he's gonna get silenced, but here comes a Snowball with a Lifestealer inside. That's a nasty surprise for the Broodmother. And Skywrath Mage also not in a great spot. Sure, also in the middle of everything. Will get picked off in the retreat. Skywrath Mage will straight TP out. He'll be just fine. Yui, though, gonna survive, and it's a clean 2-kill for Newbee with enough power here to go for a push, and SC grabs a kill on the Shadow Fiend by himself. It's a level 14 versus a level 11 hero matchup, 6-0-4 on SC, and across the map, Bravehearts are just bleeding heroes.
The Shadow Fiend didn't use his Yules, and I think that's just because he died in the duration of the Vortex, since it is maxed out, and Storm Spirit's doing quite a lot of damage. He was on agility power treads, and Shadow Fiend didn't really stand much of a chance. There were just a couple of small misplays, but even if he played that perfectly, the Storm Spirit is a superior hero, and now SCC is going to be working towards some major item. I'm not sure what it is, probably a Bloodstone for him. He's sitting on a large lump sum of gold. In fact, he has his Soul Booster in just a little bit. There you go.
That's an insane amount of farm for a Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit with a mediocre game should be, looking at Bloodstone around this time, but Storm Spirit's looking at a Bloodstone around this time with a Yule Scepter in addition. So he gets that safety mechanism. He doesn't get kind of punished by going for a slightly more defensive utility-ish item. He, in fact, gets rewarded for it. And with so many easy kills to have across the map, yeah, why not? It's going very well for him. It's going very well for pretty much everyone from Newbee.Young across the board. It's a 10,000 plus experience and gold lead at 18 minutes in. The 2 to 18 kill score, that kind of helps out, but now they're going to go for Rochelle, and Bravehearts have a 0% chance of contesting this. If they do, they will all die.
Yeah, theoretically, if they had the lockdown for it, a Requiem into Call Down combination on everybody clumped inside the pit would be wonderful, but this is a Broodmother. It's not like an Earthshaker or Axe or any one of those big jump-in heroes to initiate the team fight. They just don't have the appropriate start. Braveheart, they rely on pickoffs at this point, and even that is fairly weak. They need some sort of initiation. Without it, they're just going to be overrun by the mobility coming out from Newbee.Young, and especially now that there's an Aegis up for the Storm Spirit. This is the perfect world scenario for the Storm. He's 150 gold till he has his Bloodstone complete. He has a Lifestealer inside him and an Aegis in his inventory. SCC is a happy Storm.
And he's walking around near a whole lot of sentries, but no observers just yet. So he's now going to get into observer range. So unfortunately for him, he should not be finding any kills unless Shadow Fiend. I mean, yeah, you're working with a vision advantage right now, but even right now, this is not something you want to tango with. Storm Spirit will destroy you because there's a Lifestealer inside of him as well. Up towards top, Broodmother still doing Broodmother things, closing on her Orchid, again, up her kill potential by quite a bit, but yeah, it's not quite enough. They are tracking a courier, and it seems like they might get it on the retreat if Broodmother isn't super careful. Storm not going to find it just yet. He doesn't have any true sight either, so Chen, he's going to see the Storm. He will be just fine.
And Lifestealer doesn't have any detection either, so they can't pop out the Lifestealer and pop Dust or something along those lines. In fact, I'm really surprised at the lack of detection from the Newbee.Young side. If anybody has it, it's the Winter Wyvern, and, well, Wyvern's too busy farming up gold. This is a ridiculous amount of farm for the Wyvern. This is a Blink Dagger, I want to say, and she's going to have Blink Dagger Midas Arcane Boots at 20 minutes, and that's 800 gold more than the Gyrocopter has. That's sad for the Gyro and impressive for the Wyvern.
Well, they will finally pop the Lifestealer out of that Storm Spirit traveling around, but yeah, there's actually no detection right now on the Newbee.Young side. Like, yeah, at a certain point, Broodmother is a threat, but at the same time, if you're getting this far ahead across the map, you could just kind of ignore her and race her objective for objective. But I would rather like to see Dust on, any of these heroes with mobility. The Blinking Axe, the Snowballing Tusk, the Blinking Winter Wyvern or Storm Spirit sounds like a pretty good idea. But if your plan is just to ignore the Broodmother, then I guess you don't need Dust. They're going to take a tier 2 tower down in the mid lane, whereas for Bravehearts, they're struggling to kill off a tier 1 bottom. Here comes a TP. It's going to be that Tusk, or it's going to Axe rather, with the Lifestealer bomb inside him. He's going to get silenced. Lifestealer going to pop right out, demolish Shadow Fiend. My god, the damage. It was going to get silenced up, dropped low, but Lifestealer's going to tear the Skywrath Mage a new one. That's a free kill, and over in the Radiant base in the meantime, SC is just going to town. May lose his Aegis here. No, he's going to get very far away very quickly. It's a 2-kill for Newbee. They get the towers.
Snowball up top.
Up towards top. Yeah, snowball into Chan Chan. With TP support incoming, will not be able to get the kill because, again, they just don't have any true sight. But across the board, it's a win for Newbee.Young. They get towers, they get kills, they don't lose anything.
Yeah, Winter Wyvern pulled up almost 3k gold before finally buying the Blink Dagger, but now has it, and there's your gem on the Storm Spirit, so now Broodmother's very susceptible to being killed off, even by the Storm solo. I think he can do it. The Orchid isn't going to save the Broodmother. Yules pretty much says no to that. And he has 2 minutes left on his Aegis. They're going to walk into the Broodmother's woods. They're going to spot her out, and Chan Chan's in a lot of trouble to zip forward, looking for a pullback, just any amount of disable, and they'll find it. The Snowball to follow up, Walrus Punch, and they'll crater the poor Brood. Wicked 6 spree for SCC. That's his first Bloodstone charge, surprisingly enough.
Well, I mean, it's 20 minutes in, and he just picked up a Bloodstone after Yules, so it is, yeah, SEC really has to step up his game. Clearly, he's not doing as well as he should in this game. Like, at this point, it's kind of similar to last game. Bravehearts, they're just not doing anything. And this time, Newbee.Young, instead of just going for the kind of slower tower play, they're going for the we're just going to smash your face in and get kills type play, which is definitely a lot more interesting to watch at the very least. But Bravehearts do not have the 4 heroes necessary to give Broodmother the space that she needs, and Broodmother is not even having a super free time. It seems like Bravehearts just want to take a tier 1 tower, but while that's happening, top lane, Broodmother's lane, is being pushed in by Piao while being cut by Uy. This tower is going to fall, and even if it's a 1-for-1 tower trade, Bravehearts, much like, or Newbee.Young rather, much like in the last game, can take these tower trades and keep going and eventually force the Braveheart side back.
So now the important thing is, can we see a 3-2-2 kill score? And I think that's not out of the question. Stormspirit's going to jump in, but if Shadowfiend can get a single pick off with his combo, that could work out. He's going to use the Yules defensively, and it looks like Shadowfiend might end up going down. He'll be able to blink out to safety. Winter's Curse onto Chan Chan. It's 2-22, but they're not done yet. They'll probably just chase them into the base. They'll lose the Aegis on the Storm Spirit, and they'll make the reserved play. The Dream's still alive, but I'm not sure for how long. Tier 3 tower is going to be under some heavy pressure. Buyback from the Broodmother. She's going to try to jump in. They get a call down. That'll mop up a lot of these range creeps. Blinken, Requiem coming out from Shadowfiend, but that hardly does any damage to Piao. Piao is getting slowed, and they'll try to chase him forward, but now he's inside the Snowball. They'll rock all of them, catching 4 inside the Snowball stun. It's going to be a disaster. A 5-man wipe for the team, 2-27, and GG is called.
The dream is dead for the Twitch chat, for us, for Bravehearts as well. That was, it looked like it was going to be a decent fight there for the Braveheart side. They get a decent Requiem. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it gets off, reducing the enemy damage. It's, you know, not too bad, but then Storm Spirit jumps into the backlines. Axe jumps in as Bravehearts, just for a second, clump up. And if there's something you never do in Dota, ever, it's clump up, especially against an Axe. So it's Newbee.Young to take yet another pretty clean win, and oh man, why do I keep on doing this? Keep on messing this one up. They just got outplayed Braveheart. Like, this draft was really weird. Like, I think, I don't know, having a Shadowfiend and Gyrocopter, 2 super soft heroes with a Broodmother as well, that in and of itself is problematic. The fact that, well, these heroes didn't get any kills or assists or anything at all, kind of a side effect of that problem.
Yeah, it was a straightforward victory for Newbee.Young, and that last fight was really gross to watch. The laning stage worked out pretty well for Newbee in for Braveheart in general, but they just weren't able to pull that through. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be eliminated from the tournament as a whole. So we'll see them in some future tournaments, but Newbee.Young are going to keep the dream alive to continue on and go on to face some bigger teams. As far as the games tomorrow are concerned, we're going to have Beach Game Potential versus Tongfu, and that should be a pretty good one.
And we might also have EP versus Newbee.Young, since they won. I think that is the schedule. I haven't checked, but you guys will get notified, I'm sure, at some point in time, your betting sites, your ticker sites, or whatever. But guys, that's going to be the end of the match for today for right now. We have a giveaway that's going to be happening in just a little bit, so I'm going to be setting that one up on the sides to get into the giveaway. I'll let you guys know, but you're going to have to type in, like, raffle soon, not yet. You're going to have to do that, and then it's going to be given away random immortal items to 1 viewer, and then 1 sub, which will also be done on the side. So that's going to be happening in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss your chance for that. Again, big thanks to esportgaming.com, and yeah, they've been helping us out a little bit. They've been showing us the odds, and this time the odds were, well, Newbee.Young in favor, and Newbee.Young just crushed their way through Braveheart. So Guys, we will be right back in just a little bit for the giveaway portion, but for right now, we are out. Thanks for watching the games. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, at Mikelorus, at GrandisV, at HeflaTV as well, and we'll be right back in just a little bit.